This is ZNS Total Sports.
Good evening, Mamas. I'm Mama Jal Knowles with your Saturday Sports. We are live here at the Blue Oak Bankers playing field for Day 2, the Bahama Softball Federation's National Round Robin Tournament, where currently behind me is a very hot game on the ladies' side between the Long Island All-Stars and the team out of Grand Bahama. The score is currently 4-4 in the bottom of the fourth inning. But before we get to more from action from tonight, let's just take a quick recap of Day 1. Last night, the Bahama Softball Federation opened up its All-Star Weekend at the Blue Oak Bankers Field to much fanfare and a packed house as softball fans came out in droves to see teams from Grand Bahama, Abaco, Andros, Exuma, Eleuthera, and Long Island compete in the men and women's divisions to take home the trophy and bragging rights for the next year. But before the games could be played, an official opening ceremony to start things off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fans of softball from all around the Bahamas, the Bahama Softball Federation welcomes you to this first of, I should say, All-Star Bahamas Softball Federation All-Star in conjunction with some of our corporate sponsors. And we welcome you here to Bankers Field. We welcome you to share, make new friends.
To the action in the first game of the night on the ladies' side, the Grand Bahama All-Stars took on the Andros Lady Giants. This one was all Grand Bahama from the start. A slight rain delay caused a bit of a stoppage in the game, but that would not stop Grand Bahama as they would overmatch the Lady Giants, taking this one 25-2. In the second game of the night on the men's side, the Chances Mighty Mitts out of Nassau would take on the Grand Bahama All-Stars on the men's side, and this one will be a defensive battle as Chances would take a commanding 3-zip lead after one, but in the fourth, Grand Bahama would come rallying back, tacking on 3 runs to tie the game, but ultimately time would expire, and the game would end in a 3-3 tie, awarding both teams 2 points.
Well, I'm happy with the outcome, considering we put ourselves in a hole early in the game. We had to fight back. It shows some character that the team has. We had some grit about ourselves. And, you know, we wanted to come out with that victory for the first night. The first game we played, we won. It's always important to get that first victory.
Game aside, the Grand Bahama All-Stars would don jerseys with the hashtag Grand Bahama Strong on the back, as all this weekend's gate proceeds will be donated towards Hurricane Dorian relief efforts, a storm that is still fresh in the minds of many of the persons that were affected. But for the coach of the Grand Bahama All-Stars, he knows the resilient spirit of Grand Bahamians will help them persevere.
This is very special to us. When we got the invitation to come down, well, actually it was said that we didn't have to come, but the tournament will happen and proceeds will be in aid of the Grand Bahama Softball Association. Part proceeds, the other part will go to Abaco. And we felt it was only fitting, it was only right for us to put out a good showing, come down here and represent. I think the mere fact that we have survived Hurricane Dorian, it showed on the field here tonight. It shows what we in Grand Bahama are all about. We got fight. We don't die easy. You might get us down, but you won't keep us down.
In news from the association, well, it had to happen eventually, but it did last night. Sacramento Kings winning their first game of the 2019-20 season, and they have improved to 1-5 on the year as the Utah Jazz came into town last night, sitting atop of the Western Conference, bolstered by an elite defense that had yet to allow over 100 points. Well, the Kings became the first team to do so, winning a nail-biter 102-101. They were not only the last team to tally a game in the win column, but they were also seemingly the last team to display enough effort to be close. But Heel finishing with 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal in 30 minutes of play in the 102-101 win. Heel is averaging 16.3 points per game, which is down from his career best 20.3 points per game last season. Heel, however, is perfect from the foul line this year. The Kings head to New York on Sunday to take on the Knicks at 3 p.m. The Knicks will be coming off a loss to Boston. In bowling news, president of the Financial Bowling League says the interest in the league and bowling at large is extremely high, and he sees this as a positive sign for the future of the sport.
actually, we have a lot of bowlers interested in bowling. And on this particular night, we got a limited amount of teams. We got 8 teams, but on Monday nights, we got 14 teams. But everybody's trying to get into the league, right? And in trying to get in the league, you only could accommodate so many. So they're going to have to either go out and get a sponsor or put some their teammates or friends or whatever together to put in a team. But to get on a team that's in the existing league, these people, once they have a team, they stay together, you know, and you can only get on a team if somebody leaves and nobody leaving.
Well, since you last saw me, the game between the Grand Bahama All-Stars on the ladies' side and the Long Island team, the time limit has expired. 1 hour has elapsed, and the game would end up resulting in a tie at 4-4. Both teams would be awarded 2 points. Now, next up will be the Long Island All-Stars on the men's side. They will be taking on the Chances Mighty Mitts. Following that will be the men's team from Eleuthera taking on the men's team from Exuma. A lot of softball left to be played tonight, so you certainly want to make your way out to the Blue Hill Bankers playing field. That's all the time we have for you for sports on this Saturday. A quick check on weather is up next.